And it's 8:02, so let's just settle in to our meditation posture. And if you are sitting at a desk with your feet down, make sure they're in a parallel position with the feet slightly raised, knees parallel, hip width apart. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. Hands in the meditation mudra. And if you're, regardless of whether your hips are tight or not, it's good to have your sits bones raised up on something, whether it be a couple of inches or higher. This does help with the alignment of the spine as well. And it helps if you've got tight hips and knees. You can also put a couple of cushions underneath your knees. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. Imagine someone is above you, just very gently lengthening your spine, so all those muscles along your back that are close to the spine, you can imagine you're just coaxing them to release. Getting a bit taller, putting some space in between those vertebrae. Your head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, and if they were open, you would be looking at a spot about 2 inches ahead. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth and lips are slightly apart. So let's just bring our awareness to the back of the head, top of the head, sorry. Relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around your mouth, and the back of the head. Base of the skull, just release all that tension there. Relax inside your eardrum, your temples, the jaw, the back of the tongue. Release the back of your neck, shoulders, and allow your shoulder blades to drop down. And release that upper thoracic region in the back. So just keep getting taller. But you're sort of also relaxed. You're not sort of forcing yourself to sit up straight. If you do have anything like a surface behind you, try not to lean into it. Try and hold yourself up. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and the limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring your mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. If there are any sounds in your external environment, just allow those sounds to be there. And try not to engage with those sounds. And notice what is it that distracts your mind in terms of sound. And then slowly allow the sound to fade. Bring your mind back to the breath. And then notice your thoughts as they arise, abide and fall. And try and put some space in between the thoughts. Try not to engage with them. Create stories, follow stories, criticize yourself. Just allow the thoughts to flow while you sit on the bank watching this river of mental moments flow by as an interested, objective observer. And sitting on the bank, watching with objectivity means you're not caught up and that you're free from all these stories. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life And this can be your family and your friends, your loved ones, the people with whom you have constructive, healthy relationships. They're kind to you, they support you. They're generous to you. They've got your back. And then there's those people in our lives who we have a little bit more difficulty with, a little bit edgy for us. We feel maybe slightly uncomfortable around them. And then there's our strangers, these people who are fleetingly passing through our lives, in the queue, in the pharmacy, the line, the gas station, passing them in the traffic or on the street, walking across the crosswalk with them. You may never see them again. But interestingly, and I wonder about this, some of the people I've met recently, I wonder, did I ever pass them in the street and not know? And now they're like a close friend. So this friend, the enemy, and the stranger can change places in your life at any time. You may have your best friend now, possibly you may have passed them in Starbucks. You may have sat next to them in a restaurant. You may have walked past them in the street. But you didn't think twice about them. It's kind of interesting. So these strong ideas we have about our beloveds being like fantastic, we exaggerate their good qualities. We exaggerate the bad qualities of the enemy, and we don't really regard anything, think of anything about the stranger. But imagine how embarrassed you might feel as all of a sudden that enemy person becomes your dearest friend, and you think, oh my gosh, I thought all those things about them, but actually, really now I think differently. So why would we need to take care of them equally in our mind? Because just like us, they all want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they all have equally this same incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So then just bring to mind all these people of your life and think, I'm going to do this meditation this evening for all of them, for us, as I move along my spiritual path. And for anybody right now caught up in these fires in this New Mexico area. It's kind of frightening. This wind has been blowing probably for weeks now. It has here. And the fires have been going for some time now as well, probably weeks also. So it's difficult. So think of them. Maybe you can include them, put them beside you. If there's anyone you know that comes normally to this meditation is not here, you can put them next to you. And imagine they're here doing this meditation with us. Keep them in your heart. Keep them beside you. So there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we're going to create positivity with our mind instead. So the first of the 4 opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything that you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, or in any of your past lives. And you can think of specific actions of your body and your speech. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma, action. Anything we experience in our life is based on our past actions, our past karma. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience some kind of harm or suffering in the future. And so logically, given that we don't want really that to happen, we would pull out these karmic seeds before they actually ripen as future suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger and attachment and the rest. So the cause of why we harm others. And again think, I'm sick of suffering. And we just think, whom can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. So the first section is refuge. And this is just where we're relying upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We are purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. You can imagine Vajrasattva upon the crown of your head, and he's your guru, perhaps, your teacher, your lama, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this radiant, beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life. And however it is you've shown up tonight, that's perfectly fine. He has no worries. He has no anger towards you, no criticism, no expectations. Just accepts you exactly as you are. He has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing the 5-pointed crown and jewelry all over his body, different parts. And he's wearing the celestial silken robes in the royal Indian style, and an aura around his head and around his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And there's just a little section here on compassion. So we need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people that you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who have harmed you. We have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So just think, making a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. I think I must purify for their sake. So next we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice, recitation of the mantra and the visualization. So first, the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose or a waterfall, or maybe something like Niagara Falls, very forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Ma Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Ma Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Ma Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others with your body. And the next is a purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. But first, imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, the useless speech, lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, being divisive. All this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, really rejoice and feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the minute they hear your voice, it benefits their mind. So next is a purification of the mind. Vajrasattva now very compassionately again sends powerful beams of light, this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being, completely filling you. It's the same as when you walk into a room and you switch on a dark room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the anger and depression and not feeling good enough and anxiety and attachment and grasping and bitterness and grudges and jealousies and all this kind of muck that we have going on in our mind that's so disturbing that we think is permanent but actually is removable. We don't have to be like this. It's kind of amazing and liberating to think that. So imagine that all disappears with the visualization as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Setame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified and they're gone, completely finished. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. And if you wish, you can recite a couple of mantras, just a couple of mantras each for the visualization of the body, of the speech and the mind that we've just done. Or if that's just kind of a bit too much for you, you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you, and completely eradicating all this kind of negative energy, subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dita meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guruhum, ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dita meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva aham pe. Now feel you are completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next we come to the power of resolve. And first of all, really rejoice in your efforts. I know many of you are working again. If not from home, you're actually going to a physical workplace. It's actually, you're tired at the end of the day, but you're still making the effort to come. And if you're not turning up, you're often doing it online as well, just at a later date. So it's, really rejoice. Good job, you guys. Honestly, it's fantastic, because there are so many other things that we can easily get distracted by, but you're choosing to do this. So it's really, really wonderful that you're dedicating yourselves. This is for you, to your own, for yourself, taking care of yourselves in this way. It's wonderful. So first of all, after that rejoicing, then recognize that this is it's a really important step when you make a decision to do something, to change. So I'm not going to have 6 beers after work. I'll have 1. That's it, if that's your thing. Or I won't have any. Or I'll abstain for 5 minutes. Well, I won't have 10 chocolate cakes, or I won't gossip about the neighbour, or whatever it is that your habit is that you might want to sort of get on top of. Or I spend too much time watching junk on TV. Maybe I could be doing other things with my life, given that we now have a tiny bit of understanding about impermanence. So just choose something that you would like to work on over the weekend and give yourselves a timeline. Okay, I'll work on this thing for 30 seconds a day, or 5 hours a day, or while I'm asleep at night. And then just rejoice. Just fantastic. Just make a decision, rejoice about it, commit to it, and then just step by baby step, we start making progress. We do it humbly, quietly, and recognize to ourselves when we are making progress. So next, Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wanting to merge with our mind. It melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind are the same thing. And my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. He had a very interesting way of working with the English language. So Rinpoche recommends now to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand this concept of emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. Other than that, you can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also maybe just start thinking about perhaps things aren't existing the way they're appearing to me. That's always an interesting one to start thinking about. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjanath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Because of all my blah blah, we're a couple of minutes over. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Stay safe, particularly those of you who are in northern New Mexico and Arizona. Lots of love, and do take care, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday.